everything goes up.
But you mentioned that your resting heart rate at some point was like 60, or it was like really like.
No, my resting heart rate is 38.
Oh, okay.
So it's definitely way better.
Oh, wow.
Than,
Okay.
60.
So last semester I spent a lot of time reading about heart rates and everything, and in my research I was just curious, and I realized that something I had never thought before is that the heart has a limited number of beats, and once you get to the number, you're done. And in the paper, they were saying that athletes and things like this, they seem to have a lower resting heart rate, so their heart.
Yeah, we have a somewhat enlarged heart because you do a lot of aerobic activity, right? And so again, your body responds and will grow heart size. That can even happen in somewhat older people. You don't have to do it. In fact, it's probably more dangerous as a child because you might get scar tissue or something from heart enlargement. So it's kind of a function of a number of different things, but heart, enlargement, ventricular enlargement is, I think, one of the factors in it. And I have a friend who actually had a resting heart rate of 29 beats per minute. I mean, people, when he went to the hospital just for routine checkups, the nurses would panic when they put him on the electrocardiogram because of the low rate. And even in my case, people wonder what's going on. And but again, it came through training. That was definitely a significant component. My resting heart rate was always fairly low. It was like high 40s. But then through training, it actually went into the high 30s eventually. And if you do exertion that's really, very stressful, my resting heart rate will go up. I mean, I can actually tell. I monitor my resting heart rate pretty much every day. I can almost tell you when I'm going to get a cold or something because my resting heart rate will go up a few beats, and I know probably one more day and something is going to show its rear its ugly head, and it does, and I can tell there's something wrong. But there's other reasons for it too, like if you don't sleep well at all, then that's certainly something. But if I sleep well and long, and I still have an elevated resting heart, I know something is going to happen. Or if you do sporting events that are very demanding, my resting heart rate will go up. Like I was in Switzerland at this competition in August, and my resting heart rate during that competition went up to 50, and it took over a month to go back down to below 40 again before I saw less than 40 again. So any kind of stress you put on your body certainly can bring that up. But going back to your thing about longevity, it's actually a very interesting thing. Humans actually have one of the largest number of heartbeats among any creatures in their lifetime. So like mice have much more rapidly beating hearts, and they also live much less long than we do. But they actually live, relatively speaking, much less long than we do. Humans actually have, I think, maybe the largest lifespan. Calculated in.
I think turtles.
Turtles might be. No, turtles I think are not. Or maybe I'm not going to bet my life on it. But they're certainly not.
Animal that has
but they're certainly. They're certainly not much higher up than we, because turtles certainly can live even 150, 200 years. But they're but their hearts actually beat faster than humans. I don't think they're out of the. There's like a size law scaling of how quickly your heart beats with respect to body size, and humans do deviate from that actually in the first place somewhat, but then also get a lot of beats. And I had somebody once tell me well, I don't exercise because when you exercise, your heart beats really fast, and then there's only a finite number of beats. They picked up that meme somewhere, and my answer to them was, well, that may be true while I'm exercising, but the remaining, 16 hours a day, my heart beats way more slowly than yours. And so, sorry, buddy, but if that's your logic, then you're in trouble, because I definitely have fewer heartbeats than you per day, because even when I'm sleeping already, I only have 38 beats per minute, and you probably have 65 beats per minute or something. So you're,
it's a big
aging like twice as fast almost as I am. So by that, if you really believe that meme. But that's an interesting question. And of course, there's sort of theories of why humans might have a particularly long lifespan. And one of them is a social theory, the idea that actually in humans there is additional survival probability to be gained for offspring because of grandparents, right? And so while parents are doing things, grandparents can help raise offspring. And this is a significant improvement in survival rate, and therefore it's something that developed in social animals. And again, various types of primates don't have quite as long a relative lifespan as we do, but also unusually longer compared to many other animals. And it's probably because primates like bonobos or chimpanzees also have, they have a social structure, and actually being a grandparent is potentially something useful. I'm not sure whether it's actually really well researched and understood that that's really true, but I'm sure I think that's at least like a definite working hypothesis that people who study this are working on.